Hi and welcome to Jam Toast with me, Vidyaa Prakash, on the big scope. So to begin with, you've been categorized as, a lot of people call you prog, a lot of people call you, shoegaze. You're categorized under so many genres, post-metal, black gaze.
Yeah.
But what do you call your music as?
I think usually the artists themselves, they don't like to put a name on their music, and it's the same for me because we've got so many different influences in our sound that I don't think we fit into a single genre. So people can call us the way they want, but for me, it's just Alcest.
So there's a very ethereal, dreamlike quality to the songs you write. So what is the story behind your songwriting?
So the story, to make it very short, the band was created because I had a spiritual experience when I was a child. So it really changed my life. And I didn't really understand what it was, and still now I don't really understand what it is. And Alcest is a kind of a spiritual quest for me.
So the name Alcest, what did you want it to mean?
The name doesn't mean anything. It's a name from a book, that I read when I was at school, and I didn't care about the book or anything. I just liked the actual name, and it had an E in the end, so I just took away the E to make it my own.
Your own.
And I like how it sounds. It's very like dreamy.
It is, absolutely. Now, talking about post-metal, it's a genre, it's already very tough. It's a difficult genre to reach out to people with.
Everything post is difficult.
Everything post is difficult. But with that, you've managed to cross boundaries and, whatever lyrics there are, they're French, and you still reach out to people who have no clue of French.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
How did it feel when you reached out to people?
Yeah, it's crazy. When I started the band, I would have never dreamt that I would be here, playing a show in India and having fans, people that really know the music and everything. Like yesterday, we were in the street and there were people recognizing us, and everything. That's crazy for me, and especially since, just like you said, we are singing in French, so I guess there is something very universal about this music. Maybe the fact that it's so melodic that anyone can just sing the vocal lines and they don't need to really understand the lyrics. And people say, in Alcest, we don't understand what you say, but that's on purpose. I want the vocals to be quite low in the mix.
It's almost like super layered.
Yeah, it's just like a
it's
part
like an undertone.
It's just a part of the rest of the instruments. It's not more important than the guitars. And I'm actually also not. I don't articulate when I sing on purpose because I don't want people to understand. And if they want to understand, they can find the lyrics, in the album chorus. And also, 1/3 of our songs don't have lyrics. It's just like blah 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 blah. So there are vocals,
That's true. But very minimal.
No lyrics. It's just like some kind of invented language.
Yes. So I've noticed that most of your lyrics have to do with seasons.
Yeah, it's true. Mostly spring and summer.
Also, Neige means snow.
Yeah.
And winter halter is winter.
Yeah, but that's more like of a coincidence because I took this nickname when I was into black metal when I was very young, and I just kept it, but it doesn't mean anything to me.
So when you wrote Kodama, am I saying it right?
Yeah,
I can't
Kodama.
pronounce most of your album names.
Kodama.
Yeah. Kodama. So Kodama is a Japanese word. So it's the word for a spirit tree, right?
Yeah, it's a tree spirit. Yeah.
Tree spirit, yeah. Tree.
Yes,
right. I got it now. But yes, so it showed how deeply, entrenched you were in that culture. Did it reflect in the music as well, or was it? It
yeah,
did.
Totally, because
you had.
I've been like a fan of Japan since always, because I grew up, watching anime and everything. So I had a foot in the Japanese culture from many years ago. And I always loved it, and going to Japan was a dream for me also. So when we went to Japan with Alcest, it was amazing, and I wanted to bring something at home, something from this experience that we had in Japan. And that went into the music and mixed with this concept about the confrontation between the human world and the nature world, that is also in in the movie Princess Mononoke. That was actually the starting point of the record. So yeah, it's like a whole concept. Every album has a very strong concept.
Wherever you go, will you have such cultural influences coming into your music?
Depends, sometimes, yeah.
Was there anything interesting that you found in South America that you'd want to put into your music?
Not yet, but it's not impossible that one day, or like India, for example.
Yeah, I was coming to that, but
yeah.
you beat me to it.
So when we go to a country, we don't want to go to like Western type of like we don't want to see what we see at home. Yeah. So when we go to India, we like to go in the tiny small streets, and eat like the local food, to try to do as many things as the local people do, like to really try to get like a vibe of it.
Did you find anything curious? Like, did you expect India to be a certain way, and then you came here and you were completely blown away by it because it wasn't like how you expected?
The thing is, we've been to China before, right. And if we hadn't been to China, I think we would have had a very big shock coming here. But it's a bit similar, like this kind of organized chaos in a way, because it's very chaotic. Like there are things happening everywhere.
Right,
like
yeah.
People drive like crazy. I've never seen this in my life. So basically, there are no rules for driving. You just use the horn.
You just honk. So you hear like honking everywhere.
So yeah, that's or like when we see like cows on the roads, or it's things that we would never see at home. So it's super interesting and super captivating.
Is there any album or single coming out soon that we can expect?
Not really. We are working on the next record now, so it's taking some time, but we are really working hard. So hopefully something can be released. I don't know, in a year.
Is it going to have seasons in the title?
I don't know. The music is always inspired by nature. So
it's not always the same genre of music that you have in an album,
Yeah, it's
always
different.
Yeah. So are you planning to do something heavier or a mix of both?
It's going to be heavy, but I can't tell much for the moment. I think it's going to be in the continuation of Kodama.
Something to absolutely look forward to. Thank you so much, Neige, for being on the show.